Today's Sunday, it's the 12th of June, and I'm up in the viewing point. It is Bellver Castle. Because it's a Sunday, it's free admission, so come to have a look around. Been here many times before, but it's always a good place to come and enjoy the views of Palma. So let's go. The word Bellver actually comes from the Catalan good views, and I don't think anybody could deny that. We have splendid views over Palma. As we get a little bit higher, the views get even better. To get higher, we have to go up the steps. There's a ramp, actually. If you walk further down the road, there is a ramp, so you don't have to go up the steps. But I will try it for today. I've got to get those steps in. Chris Finch was saying I've got to get the 10,000 steps in. I'm afraid since Anita's been away, I've not quite managed it. But anyway, I'm getting a few steps in now, and they're a bit pebbly underfoot, so a little bit uneven. You can see there is a road here that allows vehicle access so that they can bring things into the castle. It's a moated castle. So we've got the moat which goes all the way around. Can't imagine them ever filling it with water. We're right at the top of the hill here. Well, I'm gonna... And just a quick read up before I came. It is unusual in that it is the only circular castle in the whole of Spain. It's completely circular. And it's a perfect circle. So we've just seen a moat on the outside, and there's a moat on the inside too. Don't want to go down there. We usually come here in the summer for the orchestra concerts. So we're quite regulars here. I'm not sure we're going to make any this summer. Our plans for the summer holidays are not too clear yet. So that's the entrance over there. I'm just going to walk down this way a little bit. It seems as though they're doing a little bit of reform. This castle is 700 years old. And it is in remarkable condition. It really is, and that is because, just like any building, it needs TLC, and here it's getting a little bit of that tender loving care. So we're not allowed to go down there, but you can see they are doing lots of work to keep the walls in good condition, and the rest of the castle. It is made out of this local stone, this moraise, and the moraise is famous for being eaten away by the weather, so every now and again they need to replace some of the stones. Another good reason for coming down here is just to point out that there are toilets here. So with that, I'm going to head back to the castle, and this gives us, just walking up here, gives us a really good view of one of the towers. Again, perfectly circular with a very high bridge. That part's not actually open to the public, so I've never been in there. But much of the rest of the castle is open to the public, and we'll go and have a look. So when we're coming to concerts, this is the way we enter, and they check our tickets here usually as we go in. Nice cool spot. And this is the area where the concerts take place. So all in front of us we have chairs set out, and the stage is all ready. Lots of things, not just the concerts that happen in the summer, but there are lots of different things going on. But the concerts by the Baleares Symphony Orchestra is one of them, and that's the stage they use. The performers will be in some of the rooms to the side. Always a great thing to come and see. I'm just going to take a couple of photos from here. Again, we've got a bird's eye view of some of the work that's going on here. Some of the stones that are being used to replace the damaged stones. We can carry on walking round, admiring these amazing views. I'm just looking through, there is a window on the side and an antenna pointing out. Lovely breeze from here. If you're looking for another view of the harbour, then there's a museum over there called St. Carlos, and it's another fort, and you can walk on the top of it, the roof of it, and it gives you an interesting view. So you'd be looking at the bow of Mein Schiff from there. But last time I was there, it was only open in the mornings. I think it closed at about 2 o'clock, which seemed a terrible shame. Whether they've changed that for the summer or not, I don't know. I need to go back and have a look. It's also got a cafe, and you can sit there and watch the world go by, and watch the sea go by, watch the boats go by. So it's somewhere I like to go now and again. Another way of getting up here, you've got the tourist bus, which Anita and I have threatened to do one day. We've never done the tourist bus in Mallorca, and it'd be interesting to see what sights they show. You might notice that we're surrounded by a forest. This is Bellver Woods, and Bellver Woods has got lots and lots of paths going through it. There are different activities for children and adults, little park areas where you can picnic, where you can play on swings and all sorts of things. Really nice place, lots of good walks for you to do in the woods. Probably not at this time of the year, it's getting a little bit too warm. And you might notice down there's a little road that goes off. It says no entry except for people who are authorised, and that takes you down to the mounted police. So the mounted police have got their station down there, the stables for the horses, and actually I have been down there, and I've been to the stables, and we've had school trips there. So I've got an exit down here, so there's some steps I could go down, but I've only done halfway round, so I'm going to carry on walking. If you come on any other day than a Sunday, you need a ticket to come in, and that's where the ticket office is, and there's a little cafe down there as well. Doesn't appear to be open at the moment, but so you go in there, you'll get your ticket to come into the castle. I don't know how much it is, but it's not going to be very expensive. And you can see the extent of the woods here, on all sides of the woods, they're not just on this side. As we come down, we can see in the distance you've got Portals Naus, and in the far distance you'll have Palmanova and Magaluf. Always like to come to this part because this shows you where I live. So the village over there is Geneva. It's always easy to spot from almost all over the island. You can see the monument of Navagesa up there, but that's our village. And it's very close to Palma, so it is really convenient for us. Another tower here that's again I think will be inaccessible to us. Well, door closed today. And one thing that always amazes me is how green Mallorca is. Mallorca's a very green island. Green because of pine trees. The island has a lot of pine trees. And in one of the articles I was reading this morning, it actually talks about walking through Bellver Wood, and it mentions the fragrance of the pine trees. They do have an aroma which particularly in the summer you're going to get. So you can see the centre part, perfectly circular, and it's all been roped off, sensibly so, because the wall is barely, I don't know, 30 centimetres. I've gone metric now. It's barely 30 centimetres high, but the drop is tens of metres. So I'll just put the camera over the edge just so you can see the drop. I didn't mention before, but there is actually a well in the middle. It won't be a well as going down to an aquifer. It's a well that goes to a tank, and all the rainwater that falls on the castle will be channeled down into that tank so that the castle has water. I'm guessing that doesn't actually happen now, but certainly did do in the past. So down there, I'll just see the well. I don't think they like you throwing coins in there, by the way. Because we're a high point, I just mentioned I saw an antenna in a window. Well, you look on the high points here, there are all sorts of antennas. Nothing huge up here, thankfully. There are lots of antennas. There's the big tower, the ground tower. On some days we can have 3 or more of these cruise liners in, and Mein Schiff's a big one. It's not the biggest. Wonder of the Seas, which is due in tomorrow, is bigger than that, quite a bit bigger than that one. And when they're in here, they leave their engines running to provide power for the ship. And that leads to the pollution that we can see coming out of that funnel. So they'll arrive here quite often early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and stay till 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. And all the time that smoke is belching out of that funnel. Sure what the government's going to do about that. One suggestion was that they could power up from the quay side, so they would have an electrical connection and wouldn't need to have their engines on. Somehow think that they wouldn't be able to do that. I think starting and stopping engines that size probably isn't as easy as turning a key. I could be wrong. Boat that's just caught my eye though down there. There's a very large yacht, motor yacht. I'm not sure if this is the rising sun. It looks very similar to the pictures that I've seen in the newspapers. If it is, it's David Geffen's boat, who's film producer, music producer, and founder of DreamWorks, who make movies, and is one of the biggest yachts in the world. It certainly looks it from here, but I can't actually see the name on there. Well, I've got a lunch appointment with Monroe and Marcia, going for an Indian. It's a really hot day to have an Indian, but I love an Indian, and it doesn't matter to me that it's really hot. But thank you for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed this little tour of Bellver Castle, and if you're coming to Mallorca, it's a place you should visit. It's got the views themselves are well worth coming for. It's just a really spectacular place, and it gives you great vistas of Palma. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Anita's returning tomorrow, so off to the airport for me. Tomorrow, that is. Indian first. Bye for now.